So, welcome, readers. Welcome to yet another episode of Badass Banias, where we bring in some super cool founders from the world of markets, from the world of B2C companies, B2B companies, and try and understand their stories and much more in depth about their companies. Today, I have the pleasure of hosting Sonam with me. Hi, Sonam, how are you?
Hi Shantanu, I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome. Super glad to have you here, Sonam. Excited to know about your journey and about Right Research. So, just start off with that.
Yeah, so Right Research is a 2-year-old company. We are investment advisors. We create these robo advisory portfolios using quantitative methods using.
Okay,
Yeah.
just a second. Too many jargons here. Robo advisory, quant finance. So, what is robo advisory?
So robo advisory is you have an advisor, right? A human advisor who tells you like maybe buy these stocks or mutual funds or these assets. When you talk about a robo advisor, it is algorithms who are
Hmm.
taking those decisions. So what we do is we create those algorithms that
Okay. And what is quant?
so quant is also usually data and algorithm, but using quant you can also create like specific strategies in various ways. Like if you want to create um, a momentum strategy, a trend following strategy, something like that, right?
Hmm.
You can
Got
use
it.
quantitative methods to do that.
So,
And
basically, using quantitative data to create decision models or data science models,
yeah.
and they will take the investing decisions instead of human beings.
Yes, but human beings will be making those algorithms,
Ah,
right?
true.
So I
Absolutely.
mean, human beings are doing a very good job in investing. There's no doubt about it. But we think that if you add a little bit of
Hmm.
algorithms and more data, you can enhance that process. So that is what we're
Got
trying
it.
to do.
So that helps you earn that incremental alpha,
Yeah, yeah.
incremental returns that you can get. Super amazing. Sorry, continue with your journey. Yes.
Definitely. So I started Right Research 2 years ago. Prior to that, I am a IIT Kanpur graduate. I graduated in
Awesome.
2010. And from 2012 onwards, I've been working in the field of quant. And it's also a very interesting journey that we'll touch upon how I switched over to, quant. I studied chemical engineering in college. Uh,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
over the last around 9 odd years, I've been working in this field. I started off with Forefront Capital, which is, a startup which Radhika Gupta, she had founded, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was working along with them in that startup, and then they got acquired into Edelweiss, right? So I was with Edelweiss for around 4 years. Really interesting. I always worked into these, algo-driven roles, which was very good. I moved over from Edelweiss to HSBC for a few years because there was a very interesting role out there in HSBC that I wanted to be involved in. I also did my master's in financial engineering during that time. Uh, and yeah, and since 2019, I have been working on my own startup. It's a very
Superb.
interesting journey. Yeah.
And are you a solo founder?
Yes, I founded it alone, but now we have, a dedicated team who's working on it.
So how big is your team?
We have 5 people right now. Yeah.
Superb. And five people managing what portfolio size?
I think we started out very small, we started out with from scratch, right? And it has been a very gradual journey. And now we have touched about across various products, we have touched 50 crore, right? Which
Whoa.
is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really amazing.
Yeah.
And I was also looking at when I was looking at your profile, I found small cases mentioned Right Research, and truly that was when it caught my eye.
Yeah.
So just explain how that journey association with small case has been, and how it has helped you gain traction.
Yeah, so small case is like an amazing, product out there in the Indian markets. Investors are having a good time, and especially for advisors like me, right? When I started in India with Right Research, I knew how to create strategies, right? But how do I offer it to
Yeah.
investors? I
How do
can,
you distribute it?
yeah, how to distribute. I can give you a file, but how will you trade and all that? So
Hmm.
small case makes that very easy. You go buy a small case, you do a single click, you have
Right.
traded everything, right? So that was very fortunate for me. When I was starting, that is when small case was adding external advisors.
Hmm.
So I sort of got to grow along with their marketing efforts, and I have done a lot of marketing campaigns along with them, and they are helping advisors grow a lot. They are taking a lot of initiatives for us.
Got it. So does it like work like a typical PMS model where you get some percentage of the portfolio that you're managing?
No. So I get the whole revenue, but then I mean, Smallcase is a technology partner for us, right? At the end
Right.
of the day, as a platform partner, we share around 20% of our revenue with them.
Got it. So they take away 20% of say what 1.5, two
Yeah,
percent, 5%, whatever you might be charging from your customer
right.
base, user base.
Right.
Uh, they get 20% out of that.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, the business model is also interesting. And in one of my initial discussions with Vasant, we had talked about this when they were launching this product, when Small Cases was launching
Right.
something like this. And yeah, it was pretty exhilarating. And there are a lot of companies now coming in and
Yeah.
pushing social investing a lot, where you can
Right.
copy portfolios of other investors. So that's also pretty cool. But yeah, coming back to your journey, any incidents from your childhood or from your past which made you super excited about investing as a space, or did it just happen gradually?
No, so see, I mean, ever since I was in school, my father, does a lot of trading. He does,
Same.
he does day trading and he does all sorts of investments. So I was always, I always saw that, and a couple of times he gave me an opportunity to, operate his terminal and all.
Wow.
Right. So
Same.
that has been very exciting for me. And and in college, I think when I graduated 2010, I think finance and in trading, investing, especially quantitative, right? Because in India, algo started in 2010 only, right?
Right.
So that was like a exciting role that everybody was seeking.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Superb. So similar story. My dad has been trading for all his life, 35, 37 years now maybe. And absolutely I can relate to you when you say that they let you do those trading F1 market,
Yeah.
F2 market, and
Right,
it's
right.
just super exhilarating.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome. But tell me more about Right Research. I mean, tell me more about your investment philosophy. How do you go about creating those models, etc.
Yeah. So see, our philosophy, like I said, is purely quant driven, right? Now, but quant is not just, this is an algorithm and there is something. Quant is, we have a very, well defined philosophy based on market factors, right? Where we think that any portfolio's return, any particular portfolio that you see, you can say that it is doing well because it has momentum, or it has allocation to value stock, or it has allocation to
Hmm.
high quality stock, or it has allocation to
Right.
low volatility stocks, right? So there are some 8-10 very well defined factors, age old factors, not like something that we discovered recently. It's an age old philosophy that we follow, that these things will define the market, and in any given market some factors will do well, right? So like in the last year, momentum has done really well, right? Trend following.
Correct.
Similarly, if markets change, something else will do well. So our philosophy is that we try to model each of these factors, and then we allocate to whichever factor is doing well, right? If momentum is doing well, then we use the momentum. Something else is going well, then we use.
Got it. So basically, it's trying to understand way before the market reacts to something, which indicator will move the market. Will it be
Yeah,
momentum? Will it be volume? Will it be
right,
some
right.
other metric? And if you're right, you're rewarded exponentially
Like, and
for it.
yes, we are doing investing, right? So we have a time horizon of 1 month or so, and these things, they don't change day on day. They like
Correct.
any factor, when it comes into flavor, it will stay there for a long time.
Correct.
So yeah.
Awesome. That's super interesting. And the most interesting fact to me right now is that 50 crores portfolio being managed by 5 folks, and that's really amazing. So how does that team structure look like? What kind of people do you have on board, etc.?
So see, we have me and a couple of more people who work on the quant research part, right? So we have some very excellent people who work on this part with me. We have a researcher from New York University. I mean, a professor over there who
Okay.
helps us with any. We use AI and machine learning, so he helps us with that part.
Okay.
Apart from that, we have a very good a tech person, somebody who looks at all sorts of technology, data, and all that stuff. I actually don't know that much, but he's an excellent person who handles that part really well. And then we have a very good person who looks at the customer support, because we are we are catering to retail audiences, and as the
Correct.
science is growing with the retail audiences, we need support.
Got it. And most of your administrative support in terms of invoicing, rejigging of the portfolio, all of those communication, that happens through the technology platform. That is a small case, right?
Yeah, most of it happens to small case. We also do, we don't have, the whole portfolio on small case. We have
Other products too.
other places, yeah. So we do a little bit of, futures and options trading
Okay.
and all that.
Yeah, and what other products do you have? So futures and options is one then.
Yeah, so one is, we have like 5-6 products on small case, which are all long only strategies, right? Where you buy stock and you hold on to it. And then apart from that, we have, we do some mutual funds portfolios also. Like if somebody wants us to tell them which mutual funds to invest into, we'll tell them that set based on their risk profiling. We do F&O product, like I said, long short
Right.
using futures. We are also recently we are looking at creating baskets for US ETFs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Because for Indians.
For Indian audience. So Indian audience gets exposure to the international markets, especially the US markets.
Yeah, so people are interested in that space, and we thought. I mean, I previous to this, I used to work for US ETFs only, so I thought.
Okay. Superb. So you have experience there too. It will be amiss of me if I don't ask you this, and my audience will kill me. That where do you see the market going? 3 months, 6 months down the line, do you see that there's this bubble in the market that everybody is shouting about, or do you still see there are profit pools existing in the market?
See, I think the economy is supposed to grow. The second wave sort of put a break on that, right? But economy is supposed to grow at a very rapid pace. So we'll see earnings picking up and everything happening in the market. Similarly, the government and the policymakers are, the rates, the RBI, everything is very supportive towards the economy growing, right? So, I mean, everything is in place for growth, right?
Right.
Right. So I expect things to grow. Obviously, there will be a little bit of, those hiccups where, people worry about US Fed rates and this and
Correct.
that. But I think, there are worries, inflation and everything else. But I think it will all be, short term. So we are in a long term growth phase, but there will be short term hiccups here and there.
Got it. So they will maybe for a fundamental investor like me, there will be pockets where we could maybe do some stock picking, try
Yes.
to, other than whatever SIP and all we have, we could do some stock selections and all there. So yes, I think, yeah, directionally we are heading in the right direction. India is one of the hottest cakes right now in the world markets too. The amount of money that has come into India, that's been absolutely phenomenal. Interesting. And how do you see the competitive landscape right now? If you are to look at your peers, where they are and how they are doing versus how you're doing.
So investment management obviously is not a young industry, it's a very old industry. It is a very crowded, it is a very
Absolutely.
competitive industry, there's no doubt about it. But yeah, the traditional market, 90% of the people are traditional stock pickers and stuff like that. And there's a very small percentage of people who are doing something quantitative or alternative.
Right.
Yeah, even that space is very small. If you look at projections given by SEBI or all these researchers, they expect the industry to be 5 times in next 10 years or something like that, right?
Absolutely.
So at that pace, there's a lot of scope for everybody to grow. There is obviously competition. If you go to small case, there's a new publisher who comes on every day. Right, definitely there's competition, yeah, but there's a lot of space to grow for everybody.
So other than hard metric tracking and the returns that you give to your investors, what are the things that you do to create a brand out of yourself? Right, so that right research is on top of the mind for the investor too. Any tips or tricks?
Yeah, so I'll talk about something that a recent thing, right? That recently we had like a lot of these support requests, right? Because there was a crash in the Adani stocks, right? So a lot of a lot of our investors, they sold Adani stocks and then they had to, follow up with us and update their portfolios. Right. So, the best that we can do instead of, if there are 1,000 requests, let's say if there are a number of requests, so instead of, there might be some here and there hits and misses, right?
Huh.
So what we did was like I, spent days and days going through each of these requests so that none of them gets, ignored. You don't want to lose customers. You don't want somebody to have. I think the growth that we have had till now is that people have had a good experience and they have told their peers and their family if the right research is good.
I think it comes down to that fundamental obsession about your consumer and about your user. If you're obsessed about delivering good quality product to them, they will definitely put in a good word for you. And if you are giving them a good return, healthy return. So that's my next question. What is the average return that your portfolio has given over a period of time, some model portfolio?
Yeah, so see, our first portfolio that we started with, that started 2 years ago, right? So in 2 years, it has given like around 110 or some percentage return.
Awesome. And what is the alpha?
The alpha is around 60% over the market because, our portfolio, we did not have a crash when that huge a crash when the March 2020 crash happened. Right?
Okay.
Because
you had a lot of HULs in all of the world?
Yeah, we were very high risk managed. We also had some ETFs, right? Of bond and the gold ETFs. We had that allocation, so we did not have that drawdown. So that was the point when a lot of customers came to us. That was the first point, and then when the bull market started, we started doing a lot of momentum investing. So we got a lot of alpha over the market, right? Because of the momentum.
Got it. Awesome.
So, only the last month has been, a little stressful for us, which was when the Adani stocks crashed. Otherwise, yeah.
So, do they have a large allocation to your portfolio?
So, see, we had in each of our portfolios, we had at least 2 or 3 Adani stocks, right?
And then because of that momentum play that it had.
And all of them took a nosedive, so which was stressful. And
right.
Before, people were able to sell it off, and it was not like they caused a very big dent, but people actually, we updating their portfolios, right? That I have sold it manually. So there was an operational.
Got it. Nahin yaar, it's super hectic when your investors come back to you and tell you that nahin, isko becho jaldi. They get jittery. And this also happens sometimes with good quality stocks too. So for example, when Nestle went down in that Maggi fiasco, it was absolutely crazy for portfolio managers to explain that no, this is a fundamentally great stock. Adani is not a fundamentally great stock. Keep that aside. But even with Nestle, people got jittery. So I can only imagine how jittery they would get with Adani.
Even with Tata Motors crashing, right? Recently, people have been calling up, and I'm thinking Tata Motors is not going anywhere.
So I had a bad experience with Tata Motors when I had purchased it at 450. 4 years back, I think it was around $450, and then it kept coming down and down, and I had very small allocation to that, and then it came below 100 in this pandemic fiasco. That is when I put in a lot of money there. But yeah, I have seen it go like proper V-shape recovery for Tata Motors. But absolutely right. I think, but from everybody nowadays is talking about active versus passive investing style, right? That you put your money in passive funds because active funds or active fund managers or portfolio managers are anyway not giving you that kind of an alpha that they were expecting, right? So what's your take on that? How do you answer this question to investors when they come up and ask you this?
I mean, we are an active manager, right? We're not passive manager.
True.
And we have given good alpha for 2 years. So that's again a small time. There are other managers out there, right? Like Alok Jain, like Deepak Shinoy and all these guys who are active managers who do very well.
Absolutely.
Right? So obviously, active managers can do well. We have done our research, back testing a lot of things that show that there's a lot of opportunity for active managers. So yeah, I mean, the debate is there. I think for passive investing will cover a large portion of the investment landscape because if everybody was doing active,
Correct.
then it will
True.
market will go crazy.
Correct.
Right. So passive investing obviously has a lot of merit, but we think that with active investing we can create some incremental.
Absolutely, I am 100% aligned to you, and I think because of technology platforms like Small Cases, the focus is again on fund managers. I think over the past 5 to 7 years, that focus had completely shifted towards institutions instead of looking at fund managers.
Right.
Like you just said, right? Alok Jain, Deepak Shenoy, you guys have been in the space, and people know you in that industry, right? They know your face, they know who you are. And if you look at these individual fund managers, all of them have performed really, really well.
Yeah.
But when you look at institutions, they've not. So that tells you something, right? So I think people have started taking that hint that it's very important to do that kind of an analysis in terms of who's investing your money on your behalf. That's very, very important. Superb. But I also see people shifting away from a commission-based kind of a model to a fee-based model. To a completely only advisory fee-based model, which I call the doctor-patient wala model. So my thought process, and a lot of people that I've talked to, is that if the doctors got commission on the medicines that they were giving us, illegally they still do get it, but legally if they were getting a commission on the medicines they were recommending us, they would be recommending us the most costliest medicine. The incentive would be very different for them.
Right.
So something similar for the investment space, especially in the insurance space, we see this happening. And this has also started happening in the equity space. What's your thought around it?
Yeah, so see, I think distributors and all those guys, they have that incentive of distributing a particular product. We don't have any incentive, and
Correct.
SEBI sort of has mandated that we cannot have that incentive. Right? If I offer execution to anybody, I cannot make any money on it.
Correct.
Which is fair, right? We should be fair, right? We should be advising on the best product, right? And that
Exactly. That is also one of the things that we work on. And
I think that keeps us honest, and that keeps our clients also trusting us. They will trust us that this guy is not pushing something on me.
Absolutely. Awesome. Superb that people are aligned to this thought process, and this is changing drastically. Even in the insurance space, if you see, a lot of fee-based advisory is coming up now, who are saying that we will not take any commissions, but we'll only recommend the best products. So that's really cool. Awesome, Sonam. So any parting thoughts for our viewers, for our readers, listeners right now? Any book recommendations that you might have, or what they could do with their careers? Anything that you have in mind? Any parting thoughts?
Definitely. See, so I would tell more and more people to start exploring a little bit on the active and quant side. If they typically don't do, they can follow right research, because we try to put out a lot of content in the language that people like us understand. We are not talking something very fancy, but in a language that people understand, and be aware of those opportunities. It's really exciting, that world.
Awesome, Sonam. I had a really, really great time. In the investing world, we have a saying that the greatest risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. I guess you guys know what you are doing, so all the best to you. We'll end today's podcast on that note. Stay tuned and read on. We'll have many more crazy founders, passionate founders with us, sharing their stories. Stay inspired. Bye-bye.